And so we move on to Malachi Martin. So Malachi is a priest who is in the service of the Herald of the Dawn Slayers. And Malachi is a human male in his 60s. He has worked in the service of the church since he was a young man, going into the service of the church in his late teens. He has travelled the world extensively in his role for the church, and has worked for his last 30 years as an abrogator for the abrogation of heretics. Malachi's arm of the church investigates where churches or ministers may have lapsed in their adherence to the faith and to the following of the morning Lord, and helps direct them back into the fold, whatever that may take. It is rare that Malachi is formally summoned to the Cathedral of Markovia, the seat of the Herald of the Dawn Slayers. This branch of the Church of Lathander, the Church of the Morning Lord, the Church of Light, is relatively shunned by the more mainstream church, as some of the more extreme tactics in ensuring adherence to the religion are frowned upon by the more liberal arms of the church. And so the Herald of the Dawnslayer is based in Markovia, and each of the cardinals looks after an area of land where the abbots, priests and bishops report to those cardinals. There is a council of cardinals, and that rarely meets in times of great trouble at the great cathedral in Markovia. And as Malachi makes his way up the wooden steps and the path to the great arched doorway of the cathedral, he wonders what could possibly be going on in the world that he has been summoned to the very cathedral itself by the council of cardinals. And as Malachi enters the church, he's filled with the sense of true belonging that he gets whenever he enters a house of the Morning Lord. And he looks up at the figure of Lathander with the stained glass window behind his head like a halo, and the light streaming through and down the nave of the church, and he feels completely at home here. And he looks at the suits of armour representing the paladins who've given their service in the circle of the bladed sun, converting people into the light of Lathander and the Dawn Slayers. And he feels pride that he has been able to work for so many years in this role. And he makes his way slowly down the nave towards the giant figure with the stained glass halo, and round to the left where he knows that the council chambers sit behind the altar itself. And he's expecting to find there Cardinal Egerius, the leader of the Herald of the Dawn Slayers, who's based here in the Cathedral of Markovia, and to find out why he has been summoned to the council chambers at this time, and what the church requires of him. And as he knocks and is called to enter the council chambers, Malachi is momentarily stopped by the sheer number of cardinals within the room. This would be a rare and unusual feat. Most of the communication between the various areas held by the church are done by raven or post sent by wagon. It is rare that the cardinals themselves make the journey to Markovia to meet in person. And so he looks around the room, and as suspected, Cardinal Agerius, the current leader of the church, is there in his long flowing robes and bids him enter the room. And he looks round from Cardinal Agerius to Cardinal Curtis, the scholar. He's the cardinal responsible for the law and understanding of Lathander within the Herald of the Dawn Slayers, and for ensuring that the church is keeping to the prescribed letter and understanding of Lathander's words. And he looks from him to Cardinal Aislinn. Cardinal Aislinn is the current leader of the Circle of the Bladed Sun, the paladin arm of the church. The paladins responsible for blazing the dawn into new lands and converting new followers. And then down to Cardinal Emmeline of the Sword Coast. She's famed for her diplomacy and manners, and the coast is well renowned for having excellent adherence to the faith under Cardinal Emmeline's rule. And then to Cardinal Fulk, who is rarely seen within the churches that he supervises more, usually the local breweries and taverns of the Western Heartlands. Cardinal Fulk's opinion is that the way to understand the people is to drink with the people, and he has the complexion of a man who does that with great success. And then to Cardinal Isolde from Dambrath. Cardinal Isolde is much more used to high palaces and the comforts that can come with leadership and responsibility, and is rarely seen in the relative simple surroundings of Markovia. And then to the far end of Cardinal Benedict of Nova Vasa, a quiet man. A reserved man, rarely says anything, who's sat purely contemplating his steepled fingers on the wooden table. And as Malachi looks around the room, it becomes obvious that Cardinal Corvus of Barovia is notable by his absence. This would not be notable on any normal day, but seeing as everyone else is here, Cardinal Corvus is notably missing. So Cardinal Agerius says, sit, Malachi, and directs him to a chair. We have summoned you here. We have concerns and we have troubles. We have not heard from Cardinal Corvus of Barovia now for nigh on 2 years. And there's muttering around the table. And Cardinal Agerius holds up his hand for quiet and says, we recognize communication from there can sometimes be interrupted and troublesome. We have given him significant room to account for that, but we have heard rumours. This Cardinal Curtis snorts against rumours. There are not rumours. I have seen texts. I have read books. This is more than just rumour. Cardinal Agerius, peace, peace. We have heard rumours that a dark power has taken Barovia, and that in recent times the worship of the Morning Lord, and everybody taps their fingers and bows their head in respect, may have fallen by the wayside in light of their new regime. And at this, Cardinal Aislinn, the paladin leader of the Circle of the Bladed Sun, we have heard that Barovia has been taken for many years now by a dark force. Some say a lycanthrope, some say a vampire. It is unclear, but what is clear is we are not receiving news or word, and there is nothing coming from Barovia, and this cannot continue. And there is much nodding around the table. And Cardinal Emmeline goes, we have given Cardinal Corvus plenty of time to be able to get in touch, and indeed we have sent other abrogators to try and discover why the church is wayward in Barovia, but they have not returned. Most recently from the Sword Coast, Thomas de Torquemas, you may remember him, an experienced abrogator. He went some months back and has not returned, and we are concerned that we are losing control of Barovia. And so Cardinal Egerius looks at Malachi and says, and so we command you, as your cardinals, as an abrogation of heretics in the Herald of the Dawnslayers, to go to Barovia and restore the worship of the Morning Lord to its rightful place in that state. We want whatever dark powers are at work there eradicated, and the church is brought back into the fold. And at this point, Cardinal Benedict pipes up and goes, I don't think you'll be able to do it alone. I think that's where Thomas de Torquemas went wrong. He was always a bit of a loner. You must work with whomever and however you need to get this job done. And Cardinal Isolde goes, you may not return, but it is an honour, a high honour, to die in the service of the church. And although we hope to see you again, we accept that we may not. And at this, Cardinal Egerius walks towards you, and he passes you from his hand a golden circle, and cut within the golden disc is the symbol of the rising sun, and it is the holy symbol of the Herald of the Dawnslayers that is reserved for very senior officials within the church, and he gives it to you and says, a wagon awaits you outside. I trust you will find the journey comfortable. We hope to see you soon. We hope more to hear word of your successes in Barovia. And with that, Malachi leaves the Cathedral of Markovia and begins to walk up the wooded the path, and then up into the mountains towards where the light is, and high just up into the mountains is a small austere cart with the symbol of the blazing sun on the side, and he gets into the cart and is pulled away up into the mountain and into the clouds. And then to the gates, and after many days of travel, he finds himself coming down a road, and he can hear wolves howling in the forests. And as he comes slowly down the path, he sees in front of him the huge, tall gates, and in front of the gates, a cart drawn by a single horse.